Saturday Social, brought to you by EA Sports FC with PlayStation 5.
Nathan, this is word association. I'm going to throw you a word, a phrase, maybe a name. I want you to write down on your whiteboard the very first thing that pops into your head to describe it. All good?
Yeah.
Vincent Kompany. Gaffer. Easy. What's he been like to work with? Talk to us about Vincent.
Top drawer, to be honest, from the moment I stepped in the building. Was in sort of conversation with him over the summer, obviously, because I was a free agent. You know, he sort of understood where I was at a point in my life, sort of off the field, and obviously coming from a year in Turkey, sort of making a decision whether to, you know, come back to England or stay abroad. And he was sort of a key factor in me coming to Burnley. You know, understanding what he wants to do with the club and the community around the football club as well. So a lot of the things he spoke about sort of sat with myself and with my family as well. So I write down Gaffer, but you know, he asks everyone to call him Vinny. That's sort of the
that's good.
That's sort of the way he is as a person. But you know, on the training pitch, super intense. But you know, the information that the players are getting is gold dust.
Perfect. You mentioned it there. Let's do the next one.
Yep.
Turkey.
Oh yeah, here we go.
Appreciation. Why?
I think from spending a lot of time at Southampton, did 6 years there, having a new sort of challenge. It was obviously Valérien Ismaël that took me over there. I think in England we're very spoilt with sort of what we have, you know, with the Premier League, the Championship, and it's all very good standard. And the Super League surprised me. You know, the standard was still very good, very technical. And you know, if you do well and you perform well, you're not glorified, but you're really appreciated, and that goes down to, you know, the staff walking into a restaurant. You know, it's hectic from someone like myself who was playing at Southampton, and you know, you get noticed here and there if you're walking around. But
you're like a star in
Istanbul. You're near enough a superstar.
Yeah. What is the atmosphere like there? Because we see it in the Champions League and stuff.
Nah, ridiculous.
Really?
Can't replace it. Like talking to one another here. If we was on the pitch and it's full, it's difficult to have a conversation.
Really?
You know, when even playing away, you know, you get used to getting peppered with coins and lighters and stuff like that. Yeah, it's like, but it's all part of it. And then when you're playing at home, you know, the opposition's got the ball and the whistles are just deafening. I think my first 2 games, I was like,
what's going on?
I don't know how I'm going to deal with this. I think at Besiktas it's where a few players have come off. They've asked to be so. I think Timo Werner had come off and a few others because they're complaining about their ears and stuff. So
that is crazy.
It's super intense, man. So like, came back from the year there just really having an appreciation aspect, but not only just for football, but for them as well, for Besiktas, for sort of taking me in and allowing me to sort of rediscover my love for football again.
Perfect. Okay, let's go to the next one. Toughest opponent.
Ooh. Oh, man. This really changes, man. I bet you loads of people have said this as well. Gonna go
Kyle Walker. Do you know what every winger says it? Is it just the pace?
Nah, it's not.
As well?
It's not that. You know, I think, you know, I've had like a lot of battles with him over the years, and I know Walks quite well anyway. But you know, he's got the pace, power, the strength, but also just sort of the intelligence as well. And I think I'm seeing it a little bit more now because I'm working with, you know, with Vinny here, who's obviously worked with Pep for a long time. So I'm seeing a lot of the things and the structures and the patterns of play and the positional stuff that's needed when you have the ball and when you don't have the ball. So, you know, playing against Walks was a nightmare because, you know, 1v1, he's good in that scenario, but also sometimes going into the pocket, you know, you think you've got a little bit more time and then crash. But also, it's once he wins the ball, he's gone. Do you know what I mean? Then there's a winger worst nightmare. You got to track back. So there's that aspect as well. But I think if a lot of other people have said it as well, then it can't be a coincidence.
Do you think he's the best right back in Premier League history? Got to be a contender now.
Yeah, I think so.
Thierry Henry. Now there is a reason we've got this one.
Right. Yeah.
Changing his mind.
I can tell you what I was going to write. Legend. And
you've written idol. Now, the reason that I've picked Thierry Henry in particular is I was trawling your social media, and I pulled this one out.
Oh, do you know what? That was after we won the playoff final when I was at Norwich. Obviously, we were having the celebrations in the dressing room, and we were staying at the Hilton, Wembley Hilton, just over the road. But a lot of us had missed sort of the bus to go back because we were all in the dressing room partying. So I think there was me, might have been Bradley Johnson, Cameron Jerome, there's a few of us just on the bus, so the bus had come back to get us. So as we're getting on the bus is coming out of sort of underneath the stadium, and I think Jono's just shouted, "Is that Henri?" So obviously I think 21 at the time, 21, 22. I'm like, I think it is. So me and Jono's a big Arsenal fan as well, Bradley Johnson, so we both sprinted down off the bus, and I'm like, I have to take a picture, and he was just saying, oh, I didn't expect him to be at the game. You know, it's playoff final, you know.
Incredible. In
the back end of May, usually it's holiday season for a lot of people. But it was a rare opportunity, first time I'd sort of ever met him. And he was nothing but complimentary about the game, and you know, he was more than happy to take a picture and stuff, and it's just one of those things where it was like, you know, 7, 8, 9-year-old me is doing flips in the bed, doing flips in the bedroom over that one. So yeah, it's a priceless moment.
All right, let's do the next one. This is the best dressed. Oba.
Yeah, I think we'll go Oba.
Just.
I think it's a close one. Him and Jakob Brun-Larsen.
Yeah?
Yeah, both got.
What is it about Michael Burnley's style?
He loves it. He loves.
Is he trying too hard though?
I think with you know, everyone knows him around the club as well, with his charisma and how he is. You know, super happy guy, like incredible for sort of the dressing room and days throughout the week in training. You know, when you need a little bit of a lift, and he's a good laugh, but also just like, you know, how he carries himself. He enjoys wearing the finer things.
All right, let's go to the next one. Who is the best Prem player right now? Best player in the league for you?
Do you know what I've liked? Actually,
Basuma. So you're going Basuma this season?
I've really enjoyed watching Basuma this year. I played against them earlier in the season, thought they were really good, you know, Tottenham as a unit, and I think they've shown that this season as well. But the year before, did he sign there last year?
Yeah, he played with us last year, but he broke his ankle.
Yeah, so he obviously had a little difficult start there last year, but I think he's just come on leaps and bounds since obviously joining from Brighton. He's a quality player. But you know, I just think from the stuff I've seen this year, I think he's been top draw.
Love it. Next one, music GOAT.
Music GOAT.
Jay-Z.
Yeah.
How often does he get played in the dressing room?
Not often. As I said, it's a young squad. Don't appreciate it. Don't appreciate it.
Is there a lot of grime in there at the moment?
Nah, not really. You know, not really. I think just the usual Lil Baby, Young Doug. Like, to be honest, Brownie's got quite a decent selection.
He's in
charge? I don't know if he's in charge, but he always takes the wheel. In the dressing room. But he's got quite a good sort of on game days. He's got a bit for everyone.
Last one then, Jamaica.
I think that's,
Let's go for it.
I'm happy with that.
Culture. Why culture?
Jamaica's just had a massive influence on near enough everything.
Yeah.
Near enough everything, you know, from music to food, maybe even the English national team.
Yeah. In
all ages, and you know, men's and women's game, with you know, players that have dual heritage, whether it be England and Jamaica, or born in Jamaica as Raheem Sterling, born in Jamaica and then playing in England. So I think they've just had a massive influence, and their culture is so synonymous within England. Well, that's part of the reason obviously I asked you, that sort of dual heritage, and you've seen players like Mikel Antonio go and play. Is that anything in your mind there, thinking about that? Yeah, I think it's one of those. I think we've had. Have you ever had the call? We've had a few discussions before, just over the course of the years, but it's always came at sort of difficult times when, you know, I think the first time it was called, I was expecting my first baby, and then you know, there's been other times where sort of things weren't right, and I was sort of packing up and moving everything and moving over to Turkey. So there's been a lot of times where it's just been sort of not the sort of right time for myself or my family, but you know, we've had the conversations, and it's just. Could we see you in a Jamaica shirt in the future? I don't know. 50-50. 50-50. We'd love to. No. Appreciate it, man. Big pleasure. Thank you, man.